Dice Age is made possible thanks to our wonderful subscribers and especially to our patrons. We'd especially like to thank our living legend, Taxtic. Thank you again, and enjoy the show.
The Empire of Maca has existed for nearly 1,000 years. Founded and ruled by Avon the Main, the immortal Empress, it quickly expanded its borders thanks to the overwhelming power of its mages and the shrewd politics of its nobles. Now it has fully conquered the centre of the continent of Elmera, and although war has ended, peace still eludes its populace. As the Empire nears its first millennia, the signs of turmoil have become more frequent and apparent. Monsters are becoming more bold, nobles plot schemes of usurpation, and whispers of rebellion hang heavy in the slums. This gave rise to the adventurer. These strong individuals of all races and classes lend their might to the citizens of Maca to drive back monstrous incursions. There are even adventurers who perform deeds so noble that the people can see beyond their race to the hero that lays within. There are those who criticise these adventurers and claim they're nothing more than pawns used to advance the political machinations of nobles. Despite the immortal Empress herself making fewer and fewer appearances, there are those whose faith in the Empire remains unshaken. But the wise know that it only takes a few sparks to ignite the flames of change. Allow me to introduce you to these sparks. Welcome to Elmera.
Hello and welcome to Dice Age, a D&D real play show. My name is Jack and I am the Dungeon Master. Along with me, as always, are our wonderful heroes. Would you all mind introducing yourselves?
Hello, I'm AJ and I'm playing Edgar Wood, the half-elf blood hunter.
I'm Alice Rose and I play T, the elven sorceress.
Hello, I'm Mitchell and I play Esarayas, the human rogue.
Hello, I'm Zach. I'm going to be playing Toros, your tiefling paladin.
Hello, I'm Trey, and I will be playing Oberon Perseus Maximus Germanius Cornelius Alexander Claudius II, your drow fighter.
All right. AJ, you said that you were going to take care of things after we had that little incident with our last recap, right?
Yeah. So I think we needed a little bit of help with this whole Tigo Biddy situation, especially after finding out he might have destroyed 2 of our episodes. So I thought about reaching out to some of our old contacts like that Medium or the Elmera Tonight people. But for some reason, I'm blocked from contacting literally any of them. So I did what I'm really good at, and I went to the black market again, and I found someone who says they can help us steal Odger back from Tigo Biddies. Allow me to introduce Knife.
Sorry. Did you say knife?
Why are they just sitting in that dimly lit corner?
I don't know. When I went around to a real shady tavern and said I needed someone to help me take a person from another person unwillingly, they just kind of came over and stabbed a knife in the table in front of me. I think that was a yes.
And you brought them here.
Guys, Knife just pointed at me and did that sliding a finger across their throat thing menacingly.
Oh, yeah, they do that. I think they're just a little shy. I think they might just be saying hi.
Well, does Knife want to help us with the recap? A lot of really cool stuff happened after the trial with us heading off to Ella Creek. Any thoughts, Knife?
Who am I kidnapping?
We're not kidnapping anyone. We're unkidnapping them, actually.
So, no kidnapping.
No, could you please put the 3 knives away?
Well, Knife, in case you were interested, we ended up going to the group ended up going to Ella Creek to save the heir to Richmond's estate, whose name was
Victim.
close. It was Micah Stowen, who shares the same surname as Toros.
You might like this knife. We met a group of monstrous races with bugbears, goblin, and grung.
Dead or alive?
Ignore that. They told us a large group of monsters are trying to make a deal with Ella Creek to get some trade and respect.
Oh, and also they might be led by an Asori. It's a pretty cool knife. And they're sharpening their knives now. We should hurry this up, guys.
We went into the city and went to Taurus's old house where he met Micah, a 9-year-old kid who talks like he has a 401k, and Taurus's kind of sickly dad. It got really awkward real fast. We told him we'd bring Micah to Avon tomorrow. The father and son can have a night together before he leaves forever.
That also gave Edgar time to go see the Asori planned in for Mora, and Toros could see the new mayoral candidate and old friend, Malika Oros, who is apparently working with the monsters. Oberon and Toros had a really sweet conversation about childhood trauma and sad backstories. What did you think? AJ, I think they've left.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It was either they kill us or I tell them there's someone selling really edgy knives across the street. Sorry, y'all. I thought this could help us with the odd gear situation, but I guess we can't trust criminals for this.
I think criminals might be just what we need. I think we might need the cool kobolds.
Well, that's certainly something to consider, but for now, we need to return to the land of Elmera. We are back in Ella Creek. We've had a very fun conversation with Micah Stowen and his father that no one felt super upset or awkward about. Now I believe Toros and Oberon. Toros was planning on going to see Malika, but might be reconsidering that. Is that right?
Yeah. Oberon was kind of like, we should wait, get with the group first, and then we'll go back.
Gotcha. In the meantime, remind me what the rest of the group was up to right now?
Were we going to see about rooms? Or were we going right to the Asori?
You were gonna go. I thought you were gonna go check with the hunter lady.
The hunter.
Right,
you were
the
going
hunter
to
lady.
check with the head of the hunters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So here, there isn't really like a hunters guild chapter here. It's mostly just that Liara was like the main hunter of the village.
Mhm.
So there's not like in Cashel, where you guys had like an actual guild building you could go visit.
Ask around, see if anyone
Yeah.
can point us to
See if they could point to us.
Yeah. So you ask around. You find out that right now, she is actually so asking around, you find out that she's actually on a hunting expedition at the moment. Actually, give me a persuasion check, someone.
Got it.
So yeah.
You don't want me to do it?
I'm okay, thanks.
Edgar should do it.
I should do it.
I have a +10. That's a 29.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Jesus.
With a 29, as you're asking around, you do manage to find someone who seems like they don't seem too put off by you, and say that she has been working with Malika as far as extending outreach to a group of visitors, the person says, and helping them to find trails and information about local fauna and stuff like that.
Okay. Does it, in the way that this person says it, does it sound like I'm cool and I'm just trying to make sure that I don't accidentally say she's friends with monstrous races? Or does it sound like she's been covering up that these visitors are monstrous races?
You get more of the vibe of like, this person is chill and they're just like, they don't want to say something that might get
Okay.
Liara in trouble.
Got it.
But they tell you that usually Liara is back in the village sometime around dusk or evening. Usually spends a few hours at the inn.
We can wait at the inn, get some rooms for the night too.
I think that'd be smart.
All right. So you all head to the inn. You get your rooms for the night. They're 3 gold for each person. And while you're there, you see a familiar face. There's a dwarven man sitting at the bar, and you recognize him to be Marcus Toldrin, the current mayor of Hella Creek. He sees you all, has like a kind of like surprised look on his face, but then hurriedly kind of shuffles over to you and says, "Oh, hello, welcome back to my fair village. I was wondering, would any of you be interested in an employment opportunity?"
Entirely depends on the opportunity.
Right, no, of course. It's so right now, there's a bit of turmoil or unease in the village at the moment. I'm not sure if you managed to pick up on that, but so lately, and this is not for me to complain about the job you performed the last time you were here. You did wondrously, exactly what I had hoped, but it seems that the problem has exacerbated a little bit.
Oh?
Yes. Now we have more than just goblin rumors about the village. And it's just a thing of we are now having more people who are a little more bold in their attempts to uh, collaborate with the creatures.
Oh.
So it would be useful, or maybe just beneficial, if perhaps a group of adventurers could help to keep the rest of the people who understand the true threat imposed by these creatures safe.
Can I make an insight check to see if his, like, unspoken hope is more, please kill the monsters, or if it's more, please do something about my opponent?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Oh, I'm very okay at insight. 5.
A 5, you're not really able to figure out like any underlying meaning behind what he's asking here.
All right. That is certainly quite the proposition. Definitely an offer we'd have to take back to the rest of the group,
Oh no, of
but
course.
something we will think on.
Yes, no, that'd be wonderful because the safety of my citizenry is what's the most important, and anyone who would be able to ensure that my people are safe would certainly be very well rewarded.
Good to know. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, if you at any time decide that you would like to work on this, just come meet me in my home. And he gives you directions to where you can find him. He says, I, I again, I did very much appreciate your work the last time you were here, so I'm sure you will continue to do a marvelous job if you do decide to work with me again.
How kind.
And with that, he kind of like nods to Edgar and Essa and makes his way out of the inn.
Could I do a perception check to see if anyone was looking, following our old mayor friend, any looks he was getting as he came over to talk to us?
Yeah,
Oh, that's way
give me a perception check.
Oh boy. 9. I wouldn't happen to be able to smell this, would I?
Can I look with my special
Can I
nose?
smell if people hate this guy?
Yeah.
I smell haters.
So with a 9, it's like, I mean, yeah,
Sniffing out the haters.
people watch him pass, but you can't really pick up on a vibe beyond just someone notices movement and their eyes look in that direction.
Yep. I didn't want to ask, but you want us to get rid of what's her name?
Malika.
Malika.
That was what I was picking up on, but maybe I'm not the best read of people, so I might be wrong.
I was thinking that, but I couldn't really make heads or tails of him. He's clearly not all right, though.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
We'll go on to, like, is there like a front desk for the inn or something, or the bar?
Yeah. This was I was having this meeting up like with you after you guys had already like settled rooms and stuff like
Oh,
that.
cool, tight, great.
But yeah, so I'd say about this time is when Toros and Oberon come back, find you guys at the inn.
We were heading to go talk to that one person.
Oh, I thought you guys were heading to meet back up with the group. My bad.
Okay.
No, we were going to do that after we had talked to her, but we were going to go try and find her. That's where we
My
left
bad.
off.
Okay,
That's-
I misunderstood.
that's why
No, I also pointed you wrong because I thought we were also going to be like, hey, maybe we should go meet up first. But I'm fully down. Taurus is very down to go find this person.
Okay. That's where I thought we ended off last session.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. I think it was mostly more of just like a hey, let's chill out first and get a level head, then we'll go.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
Okay.
I'll leave it up to Tauros then.
Yeah,
what he
no,
wants to do.
Taurus would agree to go still.
Okay, so Taurus, you it takes a little doing, but you do eventually remember how to get to Malika's from your home, and you head over along with Oberon, and you find the home that you know to be Malika's. Knock on the door, and Malika opens. She's a human woman around your age, and she looks at you, and she's going to make a really quick insight check.
That 20. Tauros,
20.
are you here to investigate the monster attacks? Or the monsters?
She looks at you and like at first she looks really confused and then like recognition dawns on her face and she just goes, Auric?
He kind of like averts his gaze and kind of like adjusts his gauntlet. Hi, Mal. So, he like kind of like goes to like look at her and then averts his gaze again to the other side. He's like, been a while.
She like just looks stunned, and then she's like, "Yeah, come in." And she like steps back and lets you into her home. And she's like, offers you a seat, and says like, Wow. Why? How are you? What's how?
I'm good. We're here because we've heard talk of some stuff going on in town. Like,
I
Oberon's like looking at Toros like, do you want me to help? Or like, do you got this?
we've heard talk of some kind of monsters near your town, near Ella Creek, and we were going to investigate and see what was going on.
she just looks baffled and like she's still not like full. It still hasn't fully sunk in.
No, he had
Uh,
not looked at her face once either. He walked in and he's got like it's not like Oberon's seen him where he's like, okay, gotta keep my like people face on where I don't look anyone in the eye. It's more of a nope, we're looking at the carpet. The carpet's really nice today.
Like,
That carpet
it's
is
like when-
gorgeous.
I was about to say, is this similar to like how he was refusing to look at his father?
That was more of a fear. This is
But, like,
less
same-
fear. Yeah, it's
more
more kind of
nerves.
same boat. Yeah, it's that same boat.
and so she just kind of like is stunned, looks at you, like hasn't even like registered that Oberon's even here yet, and it's just like, uh, I, why you came back because of monsters? What do you mean?
And he literally there's like a bajillion things trying to like get out of his head right now, and like he's like trying to like look at her, and he's like every now and then he's like kind of glances up, and he just shakes his head and just I know I guess not there's a lot going on, and we were sent here for another thing, but we've heard tales of monsters around the town, and we don't want anything bad to happen. And
She actually looks a little angry now, and she says like,
yeah,
she says like, so you're just not, you just leave out of nowhere and you're back now and it's just a mission, or what do you even do? What do you do?
I'm trying to become a paladin of Midir.
She just like the shock on her face, and she's just, why would you, of
And
all people, you want to be a paladin of Midir?
he finally kind of like looks up slowly to her, and he's got like the tears from before that had kind of dried are starting to wet again, and he just looks at her and just, I don't know what to do anymore, and I'm scared, Mel.
All of like the anger and frustration like melts away, and she like moves over and gives you a big hug and just says, I'm sorry, it's, you showed up, it's, I didn't know what to, we can work
He
it
like
out.
he hugs her back and like shakes his head. He's like, I'm sorry. I just sorry. I was when it first happened. She didn't see him when he had turned, right? Like I'm assuming he got a
You
little
hadn't
lost.
gotten fully tieflinged.
Yeah. He was still kind of normal, quote unquote. And he kind of shakes his head and just, I was so scared, and my parents, they were a mess, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to stay around, but I didn't want to just leave, and I didn't want to go away, but there's nothing else. And I left, and I told myself I wouldn't come back, and I didn't want to come back, but I did. I just don't know what to do anymore.
She like kind of moves away a little bit, and just says, do you know what happened to your mom?
And he just shakes his head, and like I'm assuming she kind of like stepped away, and she can see there's like he's a mess.
Mhm.
He just shakes his head.
She like looks like she's on the verge of tears now, and she says, "I'm so sorry, Auric. About a year after you left, she passed away.
He
She,
kind of like coughs a little bit, but he just lets her keep going.
mhm. She says she was after you left. She didn't go out much, and no one really saw her that much anymore. And then one day, your father found her on her bed, and she was just gone. I'm so sorry, Auric."
He just shakes his head. I'm sorry, Mal. I'm sorry.
It
I
seemed like
thought I was doing something right.
Mhm.
seem like a horrible person for this. But while she's telling this story, can I incite her? Not because I don't believe her, but because Oberon's trying to figure out like, does this story, like the timeline within everything, match up with like everything? And he's also just trying to see like if she's telling him like not like what he wants to
Yeah,
hear,
yeah.
but like
Mhm.
just an insight check on what she's saying.
Yeah, go for it.
Do.
Oh,
That's a
21.
21.
Yeah. So she seems completely genuine. Like this is like she's genuinely sorry for Toros. She's genuinely she's not hiding anything about his mom's death to him. And you know that as far as timelines go, this would allow for enough time between his mom passing and Penelope arriving in the village and everything.
Gotcha.
he just yeah.
And Malika says, "You have you talked to your dad since you got back?"
I saw him today. Right before I came here. I didn't talk to him, so to speak. We met with him, and he like grimaces as he kind of like forces the word out of his son.
She kind of like nods and says, "Yeah, yeah, I'm so sorry. Would you like to? I could take you to where she's buried."
I would like that, but he kind of like looks over at Oberon, and the man still looks like a mess. We don't have a lot of time at the moment, unfortunately. But
We will have time before we leave. I promise.
okay.
That's when she kind of like registers that Oberon's in the room.
Now, I've just done like a 6.5 foot
off
tall
to the
elf in
side.
full armor just
Mhm.
standing there the entire
And she goes
time.
just like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I don't know how I didn't notice you."
A bit moment. Oberon Perseus Maximus Germanius Cornelius Alexander Claudius the second.
She kind of like nods slowly and just goes, "Okay, um, I'm Malika." Uh, and then she says to Toros, "So you came the monsters. Is that something you are like actually involved with, or?"
Is something a member of our group is interested in investigating.
At that, she kind of looks a little defensive and says, "Investigate how?"
Oberon, at that point, like, not hostile back, but like upon seeing her get defensive, he's kind of like, okay, like,
Probably, bitch.
that's, he just goes, that's on a group need to know basis.
Or it's kind of like puts up his hands in between them. Is just like, we're not looking to hurt anyone, or we're not looking for trouble right now.
She looks to you, Toros, and kind of smiles sadly and says, "I'm glad to see you again, Auric, but I can't trust this information to someone who's a part of the Order of Medir."
He crumples in his seat.
Yeah, as he does that, Oberon's like gonna bristle a little bit at this and just, well, if you're going to let your biases cloud your judgment, that's your own decision.
At that, she like almost literal flames light up in her eyes as she looks at you, Oberon, and she says, "Oh, okay. So we're going to start talking about biases now. Hey, Mr. 500 names.
Oh shit!
Where were you when Auric was being chased out of this village because of his appearance? Were you just sitting in your mansion having a good time and a happy life?"
He's just gonna look at her because in his mind, like his mind just flashes back to around when he was that age. And he just looks at her just dead in the eyes and just, maybe.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then she goes, "Auric, I'm glad to see you, but I'm really upset with the company you're keeping now. I'm going to have to ask the two of you to leave."
Oh. He like finally
Oberon, like,
he like kind of like picks himself up and he's Oberon. Can you just wait outside for just a couple minutes, please?
he like is grinding his teeth. Like you can see like his jaw is just clenched. Doesn't say anything. Just walks out.
You go. Toros kind of like deflates a little bit. Is like, this could have gotten really bad really fast, and sighs. If there was anyone I wanted to see before I left, it was you, Mal. And it was selfish of me just to leave and think that was the solution. All my life, I figured maybe it would just be easier if I wasn't around. I caused so much trouble and so much pain. The constant fighting and the screaming, it just got to me, but I'm sorry that I just left. I thought what I was doing was right. But we're not looking to hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone, especially from what we've heard about these people. They're just trying to live. I understand this looks bad. And he kind of like looks down at his holy symbol, and I've just been trying to survive. I don't know. He just kind of deflates.
Give me a persuasion check.
You got it. Can I get an advantage?
Nope.
No.
Anything Oberon gave disadvantage.
Oh man, it's a 2.
She was being
Hey!
ugly.
16.
Okay.
The harshness and the anger that flared up while talking to Oberon softens, cools down, but she still just looks at you with this really it's a sad expression, mostly with a little bit of pity, and she just says, Auric, I can't be mad at you for leaving. You were a kid. You didn't know what you needed to do, and you thought you were doing the right thing. I can recognize that. And I can recognize that to you, doing this is what you need to do to survive. And that might be the case. I can't say what you need to do to survive in this place, in this empire. But I have a responsibility to help other people survive too. And you were one of my closest friends. But I don't know you anymore. And I'm very sorry, but I can't put blind trust into a childhood friend when it comes to the safety of these people.
Oh, his wee little heart is just it just got a little more cracked.
So
And,
it's like the
he
Undertale
just-
thing where it gets hit and it just.
yeah. He just kind of nods. I understand. You're becoming mayor. That's big.
She smiles and says, well, I'm trying. Toldrin doesn't really want to give up the position that easily, but we're making some
He
momentum.
seemed like he seemed like quite the. He like kind of like smiles a little bit, like just like a tiny little bit. He seemed like quite the piece of work last time we talked to him.
She looks a little confused. Last time you talked to him, when did you talk to him?
Of course, you asked Oberon to leave. Of course.
I mean, to be fair, Oberon would have started throwing fists at that remark.
No, he would not have. He
At
would have been
Toros?
back- At this point, no, he just would have like did like the shut up. Like he would have given like the elbow to the side, like the shut up. And
That's
it would
what
have been like,
We met him under some circumstances. It was for becoming an adventurer.
She looks like her eyes are starting to go a little cold, and she goes, when did that happen?
walk out.
A
Walk
while
out.
ago. You know, here's.
Can you roll deception? Can this man try to roll deception?
I don't think Toros can lie.
I think he can.
It was some time ago.
Did you ask Jack if you could have a negative 18 modifier to deception? I think he'd grant that.
God,
It was
man.
some time ago. Why?
This guy.
She-
This happened.
Like, all the warmth in her voice is like gone, and she says, how long ago?
He like
Does he understand?
here's what kind of plays through his head of like he actually does want to tell her, but like he actually starts thinking about like Edgar, and he's like, I can't hurt Edgar, my man, and he's inhales and sighs, and just a little bit of steam kind of comes out of his nose. I don't know, Mal. Some time ago. Kind of obvious that like he doesn't want to say.
Yeah. She stands up and walks to the door and opens it and says, you need to leave, Auric.
Okay. He kind of just he walks out. He looks crumpled and defeated. He looks more fucked up than when he got bitch slapped around. He does like one glance over his shoulder as he walks out, but he doesn't say anything.
She shuts the door in your face and doesn't look back at you.
Edgar is there right behind you with a hand on your shoulder saying, "Welcome to the Foot and Mouth Club."
That's rough, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you get out, you see Oberon is like 10 paces from the door, and the second you leave, like he just turns, sees you, and then just turns around, begins heading towards like where the group knows to meet up.
Mm-hmm.
He just slowly walks after him.
All right. So you guys are like sitting in the inn. You're talking about like that Toldrum guy. He's like a fucking weirdo. Like, what's he want us to do? And as you're saying that, you see Toros and Oberon walk into the inn.
Oberon looks pissed. Oberon legitimately looks pissed. Like he like opens the door like to the inn a lot hard, like not hard enough to break anything, but a lot harder than it needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of bitches. Gentles, how did it go?
Terrible.
Oh.
What happened?
He's just going to look at Toros.
Toros has been visibly crying more as they walk back, and like he's got the dried tears on his cheeks.
Oberon's done his best to like not look back because he knows if he like looks back at Toros like this, he's probably going to crack. So he hasn't looked at Toros once since they left. And as you ask like what happened, he's just going to nod his head towards Toros. Ask him. I wasn't allowed to listen.
Okay, are we talking the kind of bad where we need to leave town, or the kind of bad where we need to be extra careful?
No. But
she looks to Oberon to corroborate this.
He literally is like, I wouldn't know. I was told to wait outside.
Okay.
So, the room got a bit heated. We met with Malika. He like opens his mouth to say more, and he like kind of like has to force it out. Of, like he's very defensive of the people she works with. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll go after.
She's a lot like I remember, but I guess things change.
Is she likely to be the protector?
Yes.
All right.
I can
Yeah,
tell
that at least.
As far as I'm aware, she doesn't know about what we did here last time. Because Oberon doesn't know he wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
And
I'm just gonna do this.
I swear to fuck, if you're rolling deception.
He's gonna roll wisdom save after cry.
Yeah.
There we go.
You gotta do both.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this.
It gets a nat 20 on the deception and a nat 1 on the wisdom.
No, it's the opposite.
Toros just buries his head face in his hands. And like he's like really trying to hold back tears. He's like, okay, I've been crying a lot today. I've got to hold together, man. Like this is all I've been teaching myself this life. Like I've got to fucking keep it together.
She'll put a hand on his back.
He just like buries his hands and like tears are very obviously like welling up and like kind of falling through. It's just, I thought maybe we could talk again. I thought maybe we could be friends again, but
Does like Toros do that right after Oberon says, I don't think she doesn't know what.
Yeah, it's like it's not like a drawn out afterwards, but like it's definitely like fairly connected.
Okay, can I like reasonably put it together? With
Yeah,
Oberon?
like you wouldn't have to roll inside to be like the like, oh man, Toros.
The second that happened, Oberon
something.
literally like you see like his eyes just close, and you see like his jaw's been tense the entire time, and you see like his teeth just start grinding together, and he just lets out this giant exhale, and he's just like, and apparently I'm wrong.
Oh, we cannot be associated then. Neither of you can come with us to the parlay.
That depends. Should they recognize you, they'll know that we were in the...
Well, that's true.
There's also the chance that she asks around. Should she do that, we're not a subtle group.
I do have a disguising spell.
That's one.
I'm not too worried about my chances of getting in.
Oh, I'm worried about your chances of getting out more.
Again, I don't want to put anyone else at risk for this. This is something I just want to do. Something I need to do, but I know there's ramifications that could affect all of us. If you guys show up, that only makes it more likely. I look at T. I know I can't stop you once you've made your mind up, but I don't want to fuck up what you just got back, T.
I owe you. And you're not going to fuck anything up.
Even Oberon, like, Oberon gives her a look, and he's like, "Really? You really think that?"
In this one instance, she will have that faith in him.
Oh, this is the worst instance. This is the worst one. Oh, I'm gonna say anybody who's like looking close enough at Oberon, he looks like he's gonna blow a gasket. Like his jaw is clenched, like his arms are crossed, like his foot is like tapping the ground, not like like it's like almost slamming into the ground. Like he looks like he's about to like explode at something.
And unfortunately, his therapy dog is guarding.
Well, we have one more thing we gotta do before any of that. We had an interesting conversation with the
Yes.
out in here.
Oh yes, that.
Offered us a job to deal with the situation with his political rival and the new party outside. No other details beyond that, but yeah, he's in a tough spot himself.
Understandable.
I don't think he gives a shit about the actual situation. I think he just doesn't want to lose his job.
He wants to stay as mayor.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't say that I'm too inclined on. And he's like gonna like looks like he wants to say something, then like bite the inside of his cheek. Just all the current options for me.
We still have the hunter we are to talk to.
She'll be out until later.
Yeah, we can't fuck up every conversation we have today, I don't think.
If we're lucky.
The love of all that's holy and otherwise. Let me take point on that one.
I'm gonna get us a round of drinks.
All right.
We need it.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the plan here, guys?
What time is it? Like what time?
Yeah, about after all this.
I'd say it's around sometime in the afternoon, so around like 3-ish.
And she'll be back around dusk. Is the
So just a few more hours.
We could take a couple hours to just like recuperate and then meet up with her.
Drinks. Toros could go for a shot right now.
420.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oberon's going to take his drink, and then he's going to immediately leave. He's going to immediately leave afterwards. Like, he needs to blow off steam somehow.
Yeah.
So he's going to, like, try and find, like, if there's no training, like, grounds or, like, anything like that, he's just going to go out to the woods, find, like, the sturdiest looking tree he can, and wail on it until it's time to head back.
Sounds like a plan.
When he leaves, I'm gonna look to the group. I am the last person who needs to talk to him about anything, but I think at some point someone needs to talk to Oberon. Probably not you, Toros, right now.
I need to apologize, but I need to let him have his time.
One of us will talk with him.
Yes.
I think
I could do it. If you want.
I
there to
think
be
that would
a
end
crater.
poorly.
I don't
If you want
want
there
him
to be a
to.
crater somewhere in Ella Creek, I could do it.
And a tombstone on top of it saying, "Here lie two morons who couldn't have a civil conversation."
That's just because I think you two might be the worst choices for that. No offense, but considering.
Toros, if you don't mind me asking, what set Oberon off if he wasn't there the whole time?
He got really defensive about the people. She got very defensive about what we were doing here with them. And he gave a pushback, and she did not partake in that very well. And I asked him to step out so that I could talk to her and not have her punch him in the face.
And
Or have him
break her
punch her.
hand.
Exactly. I didn't want something to blow up out about it. I know Oberon's better than that, but I didn't want it. But
Yeah. I think you know your friend better than any of us too, so I trust your judgment there.
I'm not gonna roll. You see him hide his face again, and he just kind of like he doesn't cry into it, but you see him just kind of like huff into it.
I'm gonna insight check because I don't
Yeah,
know
go
how
ahead. You
Edgar
go
is
right
reading
ahead.
this fully.
And
No.
Oh.
Edgar's very uncomfortable with the current
what does
situation.
does the 12 get S at anything, Zach?
You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna.
I'm Praise writing you. I got a 13.
Oh, baby! You
Yeah.
can't see nothing past those
He's
hands.
like a wall of
Yeah.
tears. He's like a wall of tears.
I don't think that it's his lying. It's none of us want to like look further
Yeah.
into the sanity.
Yeah.
It's you guys are so
Yeah.
used to no emotion Toros that seeing all emotion Toros is just hard to look at.
It's also heartbreaking.
Can I at least glean if Toros would like space? Or if Toros would like to be comforted?
He's all right with being around people and being comforted right now.
Okay. In which case, T will scoot a little closer to him on the bench.
It's just so much so soon, you know.
This
I
has
haven't
been
got
a
to
hard
come
day
here.
for you.
And then after our first time here, I thought maybe we'd be done, and then we're here again. I saw. I mean, he can't even bit out his words as he just shakes his head, and his hands kind of drop into his lap, and he just kind of like lets out all like. It seems like he's cried out most of his tears, and now he's just like tired, man.
Edgar finally pieces it together as he remembers the very similar conversation Kanasha had with him when he came back to the city, and Kanasha's "Where were you?" chat then, as Edgar's finally realizing kind of what Toros is going through. Oberon just needs a little bit of time to cool off, and then he'll do his old rational conversation shit. If you want to talk to him, then I think he'll understand why. And I know it can be tough with the people we really care about when we feel like we're just trying to protect them. But I think
Ron's
people that
he's already. I shouldn't have pushed him away like that. He's already just. He's so pushed away from us. I shouldn't have done that.
Edgar doesn't want to do this. There's a big part of Edgar that doesn't want to do this. Oberon's used to pushing others, getting pushed. What matters to him is if you make an effort after a pretty big push. If you're willing to pull him back, he tends to be a soft boy and let it happen.
Are we talking about him or his dog?
You said dog. I thought you said dog.
Dog.
Of course you did.
Of course, I was thinking about.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Alice.
Fuck you.
Of course, just kind of nods.
All right.
I just thought I could trust her. I thought maybe I should stop running away from who I was, and maybe I could face her and we could talk. And I don't know.
Obviously, you don't have to go into details with us. You don't owe us that, but was there anything in particular that made her not want to talk?
It was the pushing. She thinks we're with fucking oh my god, what the fuck's his name? Toldrin. I believe she thinks we were Toldrin. I said the wrong words around her.
Oh. I wouldn't trust anyone working with him either.
No.
Yeah.
She's got good sense.
She's always had good sense. She was the smarter one.
I think she'll see it if you give her a chance, Toros. I think it's up to you now if you want to try to do anything about this. But I don't think words are going to do it. If it matters to you, you might have to show her where you stand.
Okay. He just kind of nods, and he kind of takes his drink and kind of just downs it, and just some steam kind of out of his nose. He just kind of nods.
All right.
I think if we still have a little bit of time, I'm just gonna go make a quick run to see Micah just to make sure everything's good.
To check up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone wants to come.
Sure.
I'll stay here with Toros if you want to stay here.
I would rather sit for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So Edgar and T head on out to back to the Toldrin house.
Toldrin.
Hmm?
Toldrin?
Yeah.
Or Stowen?
Stowen.
Stowen.
House.
I meant to say Stowen.
Lots of names.
Lots of names.
And you get there. Looks like Moon's still there. He's just hanging out. Sees that you kind of pants happily a little bit, but doesn't move from his spot. You guys just going up and knocking on the door?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you knock on the door. Micah answers the door again. He says, "Oh,
Salutations.
yeah, is something wrong, or are you?"
No, just we're gonna be busy for the rest of the night. Just wanted to make sure you knew, make sure everything was good, make sure you knew where we were in case something happens. But just want to do one last check before we call it a night.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Come on in.
How's your dad feeling? Is there anything we could get him?
He's doing better. Shouldn't be much longer before he's fully recovered. It's just it was a nasty fever, but he's pulling through.
Gotcha.
Great to hear. All right.
That's it. That's all I really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He just kind of like looks a little awkward at you two and just like,
Turn to
okay.
T out loud. I turn to T out loud. I don't know how to talk to kids.
Well, it was so nice seeing you. We'll be on our way now. And
I
She'll-
don't like that.
she'll
I
link
suppose-
arms with Edgar and drag him.
See you later, champ.
Oh, come on, man, Edgar.
On the way out, T will give Scritchies and a little Treato to Woon.
Mm-hmm. He shows great appreciation.
Good.
Woon will
there-
remember this.
Is there a gate?
No, it's
Oh,
it's just a
Single door.
little like
Okay.
single door cottage.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right, I trust that we have with one there. I feel.
Mhm. Woon's got this.
All right. So time passes. You all are at the inn, except for Oberon, who's currently chopping a tree down with his bare fists.
Minecraft mode, baby.
Those videos of those people you see in Russia who are just like breaking down trees by punching them.
Eventually, he does come back, and shortly after he comes back, you all see a half-elf woman with red hair, leather armor, and a bow slung across her back, along with a quiver of arrows. As she comes in, and like everyone in the bar turns and goes, "Liara!"
Founder.
And she smiles at everyone, walks over to the bar, and the bartender already has like a drink ready for her.
Mm-hmm. The regular.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we? I'll give her some time to like settle in before I go over. I'm not gonna like ambush her the second she sits down,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
How many of you are walking up to her?
T.
Just T.
I'd say maybe Edgar and T.
Edgar's
You
like,
want
what?
Edgar there? You want?
I nominate Esther. I think Esther should go.
That still looks like a good opportunity.
Man
Listen,
who
she
started
seems
the fu-
popular. I could fuck this up.
I could call her hot.
You're putting the man who started the Foot and Mouth Club up with this.
Yes, and somehow you're still not the most prominent member.
Oh my goodness.
That's
How
what
you
we'll go up, like,
founded the club, and you're not even its captain or vice captain at this point.
Just learn to shut up. Essa will go with T if he
Okay.
wants someone to go with her.
T would like a buddy.
Okay.
As
go
this
with
is happening, the only thing Oberon's doing is like scanning the crowd to like see if like there's just anything abnormal going on, like especially once they go to start talking to her.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a quick perception check. So the two of you walk up to Liara. She's like chatting with the bartender, and she notices you two, and she's just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey, are you Liara?
Yeah, that's me. What's what are you? Who are you guys?
Fantastic. My name is T. We are from a little adventuring party. You're just wondering if you would mind chatting with us for a minute.
She looks at the two of you and says, uh, I mean, I'm happy to talk as long as you buy me a drink.
Of course.
All right.
And T will like motion to the barkeep like, I got the next one.
Okay. She's like, great. How can I help you?
Well, we've been poking around, and we were wondering what you could tell us about the recent patterns in the woods. I hear you're a fantastic huntswoman, and I was wondering about your observations of the flora and fauna.
She like looks at you, takes a slow drink from her mug, and then just says, so what do you actually want?
Oh man.
Oh man, that fucking immediately. Good. God.
Damn, my deception
Damn.
mod's good too. All right, she's that perceptive. Essa, want to help a bitch out if we're not going charisma anymore?
Beat her ass.
What are we going for? That determines.
Intimidation.
Not intimidation. Straightforward.
Acrobatics.
It's more just that you came up to a very straight shooting kind of person with all of this fancy talk, and she's just like, okay, just actually tell me what you want from me, and I might be able to help out. Like, why?
Yeah.
It's
why
not
go through all
she's
this
like,
trouble?
you lying bitch. She's
Yeah.
just like, quit going A, B, C,
Yeah.
D. Just go.
Don't
get
zigzag, don't dally. Get to the
Yeah.
point. The point?
the-
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Give me a second. My brain just went dead for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
No, this is why I wanted a buddy.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't floundering alone.
So Alice, what are we trying to get from her right now?
We're trying to figure out what she knows about, like, the monstrous races and
Yeah.
who might know what, if where the Asori thing came from.
What kind of information out of the one
Yeah.
person that
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
See,
gotcha.
see if she's
Just-
chill.
That's what I figured. I just wanted to be sure we were clear on that.
Yeah.
Cool. So Essa kind of like it's gonna be kind of leaning, like not suspicious looking, but definitely kind of trying to keep it a bit quieter so Mr. Barr's not getting
Yeah.
nosy. Kind of goes, well, truth be told, we've heard rumors about some creatures in the woods that don't belong there, and we were just hoping to get some more information on that, what you know about it.
All right, give me a persuasion check.
Can you give me the help action, T?
Anna?
I'll be
I didn't
nice.
start so stellar.
I'll be nice and say that you can give him the help action.
Awesome.
I swear, if you guys
That's
fuck this
very
up
nice.
so bad,
A
that
merciful
one of us-
DM.
I would have.
All right, that's a
Oh,
20.
Nelly.
That's the best you can hope for from the guy who has a +2 to persuasion.
Liara's probably OP as shit, though.
All right, so you say that, and she says, "Yeah, I've been around the forest a bit. I know the comings and goings of a lot of the people who go through there. I also am pretty protective of my clients, so as long as you can let me know that you're not looking for any trouble, I might be able to give you some information."
We're not looking for any trouble. Just curious.
So why are you curious?
Allies who are in adjacent boats, shall we say. I
The-
apologize, I can't be too direct for safety.
I'm a prostitute. I don't do subtle.
She says, like, okay, well, she's just like looking
Yeah.
at you guys like,
Giving her much.
look,
Yeah.
I'm happy to work with you if you can be straightforward and tell me what you need, and you can show me that you're people worth trusting. But so far, you haven't really done much of that. So I'm starting to lean towards asking you to leave and just leave me to my drink.
Oh, fair. That's so fair.
Because did my perception get me anything, and does it also allow me to see this incoming train wreck that's happening at the bar?
Like your perception, like you look around, like people are looking over at Liara, but just more of like oh, people are talking to Liara. There's not like any, oh, like get ready, there's about to be a rumble or anything like that. It's and like I'd say like you can see that like from the expressions on Essa and T's face that like they're not getting very far with this conversation.
I have a risky move.
Flasher.
No. The other kind of risky.
Oh.
Oh
no.
I
Fuck.
don't know what you guys think this is.
Oh.
I think we all know what this is.
Oh.
Continue.
Oh.
Ooh,
Oh wait, I think I know what you think and it's wrong. So
No.
Okay, good.
T is going to stand facing the bar, and like the bar comes up to like upper
The T?
tummy, right?
Yeah,
And it's like a little bit of a ledge from the wall.
yeah.
T is going to be facing the bar, and she's going to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
She is going to make a maybe like a foot tall specter, completely soundless, and blocking the image from all others' view with her body. And like hopefully getting Essa to join her in the blocking.
Yeah.
She is going to cast the image of an Asori.
Okay.
That's where I thought this was going.
Okay.
Yep.
What about the bartender right there?
Well, under the bar. Under the ledge of the bar, so it's literally only like under this little nook
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
that we're creating
I
with
thought
our
you were doing
bodies.
it on top of the bar.
No, under the bar.
I
Under the
also
bar.
thought you were doing it on top of the bar. I was like, oh my god.
So yeah, so you make this like little Asori, and like I imagine you do an Asori more like the form you saw Edgar take.
Make it like if there were any defining characteristics that was like, that's like Edgar's face, but with bones in it. I try to make it a different face.
A generalized Asori.
But my best depiction of an Asori, and not in any sort of threatening stance, not in a combative stance, just like a being standing there.
I'm gonna
It's
need
doing a
you-
jig.
If you're
It's doing a
not,
little
if
jig.
you're not making an Asori that looks like Edgar's Asori form, I'm gonna need a history check from you if you know what Asori are supposed to look like.
Because you've only really seen a primal avatar of an Asori.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
necessarily an Asori, so to speak.
Yeah.
16?
A 16?
That's pretty
Okay.
good.
With a
That's-
16, you know that Asori tend to be very tall, thin, pale, people that actually look very different from how Edgar and his mother look, which, you know, kind of informs how Sierra and Edgar were able to blend
Stay
in
alive.
as well as they have. So yeah, so you create this sort of figure of an Asori, and like her eyes go wide, and she just says, "Are you hunters?"
Oh, goodness, no. Friends.
Give me a persuasion check.
Plus 10, baby. 15. That's not great, but it's
Ooh,
okay.
Man.
15. Okay. She looks at you and says, "Okay. Yeah. I may have worked with people like that in the past. Yeah. What do you need to know?"
Our ally is interested in parlay.
Why? What do they want?
They're not familiar with, many, and would like to be.
Is like what? Like they just have a fascination? They're not.
They are.
They are fascinated. Like, what do you mean?
They are, and she'll gesture to the image that she's still, like, very
Uh-huh.
carefully holding under the...
At that, like, eyes go wide again, and she says, "Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah,
I hope you understand our caution.
no, that makes complete sense now. Yeah, I can. If you can, I'd want to meet this person first before I can promise anything. But
Of course.
if they're decent, I'd be happy to help introduce them."
They're a good person, just a little clumsy. I'll see if they're comfortable with that.
Okay.
Edgar sneezes and spills his drink at that.
And then throws his hands up and knocks somebody else's drink out of the way,
Oh,
and
fuck,
then that starts a whole bar fight.
Mhm. Turns into a ballroom.
See?
All right. Do you go grab Edgar?
Not as obvious. First, she's gonna. How much was the drink?
Like 8 silver.
8 silver, tight. She's gonna put that down on the bar, and just go. Excuse me for one moment, and walk over to the table. Not sitting next to Edgar, just sitting at the table, trying not to make it obvious. We have been granted the opportunity for an ally. Should he be willing, and like looking over at Edgar, not saying his name, should he be willing to identify himself?
Oh shit!
Oh.
Oh, fuck! Wait.
She wants to get a vibe check before promising anything, but she can help.
Sorry, hearing T say vibe check in the canonical speech is very funny.
Fuck off.
I'm not saying anything bad,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
funny.
I think she's good people.
We said we get Micah out by dawn, right?
Yes.
At dawn, we return for him.
Okay.
But this is happening.
It's gotta happen now.
She'll gesture over, like, shall we?
I guess so. I
T
down my
will lead him
drink.
over. T will lead him over.
All right. So Edgar, you walk up to Liara. She looks at you and says, looks to T and says, "Is this them?"
This is.
I'm them. Hi.
She like looks at you, notices your ears, and says, "Oh, you look a little different from the ones I'm used to."
It's a complicated story. I've lived in the Empire for my whole life, so.
Right. I'm just gonna come out and say this. I'm gonna need some proof before we can go forward on this.
Can we not do that here?
No, obviously,
Yeah.
if you want to come with me, I know a spot that's a little more away from prying eyes.
I'm gonna look over at the group and just give them a little nod. We're gonna be out of sight for a little bit.
Yeah. So she takes you into the back room of the bar. She knows the owner. And says like, "All right, you don't have to do anything too fancy. Just
I don't know how to do it on the reg. Could you shoot me?
Yeah, okay. Like no hesitation.
She just rolls with it.
Yeah. Pulls out the bow, takes out the arrow, looses it right at you. Like she's only like 10 feet away from you.
Edgar's like, all right, let's see what the fuck happens. And as soon as it comes close, he just like puts his hands out and skeletal defense.
Mm-hmm.
Bony roots are gonna start jutting out of him.
Yeah, so you the bones of your arms as you like pull up your hands in defense like extend out from your skin and form this sort of like pale white shield from your own skeleton, and it like easily deflects the arrow, and it clatters to the floor of the storeroom as your bones recede back into your body. And she just goes, "Yeah, that'd be a really hard thing to fake."
Just found out I could do that too. Not too long ago.
Okay, yeah, no, you probably could do with meeting up with Planin then.
I just need to know fully. We heard rumblings when we talked to a group outside the city, but why exactly did they come here?
She kind of like shrugs a bit and she says like, I mean, I don't know the full plan. Sounds like they just wanted to do some outreach, start working on it, establishing connections and like finding people who are willing to work with them. If you want more details, you're going to have to talk to him. He's the one who's in charge of all that. I'm just mostly helping train hunters and giving them layouts of the land and stuff like that.
I need to ask because this is not easy to do and trust. Do you know for sure they're in a story?
Yeah, no, he's absolutely in a story.
Okay. I still had an idea in my head. This might just be a trap.
No, I can see that. All right.
But we don't have a lot of time. We gotta do this fast.
Yeah, no problem. Is just gonna be you, or are you gonna bring anyone with you?
I'm gonna turn to T.
Let me.
I'll bring a +1 if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. And
Leora, a question for people who know. I understand that my visage is not the most trustworthy for the folks we're about to meet. Would it be a horrible idea to change it up with a quick makeover?
she looks you over and says, like, I mean, no offense, but you don't exactly scream entrenched member of the Empire. You are an elf, but like, she kind of like gestures at your dress and says, like, you're not the kind of elf that they usually worry about.
No. In which case, we'll go with transparency.
Yeah, also, if they do find out that you are being
That's what I was
deceitful,
thinking.
that's probably not going to be a great first impression. So she looks at you and is like, great, let's head out.
I'm glad I asked her about that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the three of you start heading out. Essa, Oberon, and Toros, the three of you are just kind of like looking as Liara is leading T and Edgar out of the inn.
Stop at the table quick and just go, we'll be back before dawn.
Be safe.
I make one quick look at Oberon.
He's cooled down a lot, at least on the outside he has, and he just like looks at you, and then he's just gives like the nod of be safe.
Toros kind of gives T a nod and Edgar a good luck.
All right.
I just want to do another perception check as we walk out, just to make sure no
Sure.
one's making eyes at us.
Feel like it goes without saying, but I just want to verbalize that right after identifying that we had a friend who's an Asori, the image went away.
No, yeah, I figured.
It's still there. There's some lag.
It's just chilling under the table.
It's dancing now.
19.
19. Looking around, you don't see anyone that is like looking at you in any way that suggests hostility. All right. So the three of you start making your way out of the city, through the forest, and as it takes some time, but as you are walking, eventually you start smelling like campfires and cooking, and start hearing the noises of like a group moving around and stuff like that. And you come to a clearing where several tents have been erected. There's dozens of goblins, bugbears, grungs, and all sorts of people like that that are all kind of milling about. Many of them seem to be occupied with things like cooking and all that. And like there's like a big central tent that Liara is leading the two of you to. And sorry, go ahead.
There is a point before we go to the big tent where Edgar just fully pauses and stares at like a group of goblins, like if there's a group of kids there.
A lot of the goblins do seem fairly young. Not necessarily children, but like definitely on the younger side. You get to see like maybe late adolescent or young adult kind of group.
Yeah. I think after a little bit, T or Liara would have to like shake Edgar to remind himself.
Mm-hmm.
That they got a place to go.
Gotcha. As you all are approaching the tent, suddenly a tall, pale-looking woman emerges from the tent, sees the three of you, and says, "Liara, who's this?" And she says, "Oh, they're people who wanted to meet with your father." And she looks at the two of you, and Edgar, you notice that she is bearing the stereotypical look of an Asori, the height, the paleness, the lithe body, and she sees you and kind of sneers a bit and just says, "We can trust them?" And Liara says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." Like, the woman looks annoyed and then just says, "Fine." And then looks at the two of you and says, "But if you try anything, you'll be dead before you hit the ground."
We deserve it.
So she leads the three of you into the tent, and sitting in the back, you see a very old-looking man. Again, though he's like sitting in a sort of meditative pose, and there's like incense burning in the tent. You see that if he was standing, he would also be very tall. He's very slender. As you all enter, he opens his eyes, sees the three of you, and smiles very warmly and says, "Oh, welcome, visitors. My name is Planin Femora, leader of this chapter. How may I assist you?" And I think that's where we end it for this episode of Dice Age.